Hi, everybody. I'm Tim McGuinness, and on behalf of Silver Event Professionals, I'd like you to welcome you to our informal interviews with leaders in the event industry. These sessions are meant to be brief, informal, and hopefully informative for you. So let's get right to it. I'd like to welcome the CEO and founder and CEO of Lippman Connects, Mr. Sam Lippman. Sam, welcome.
Well, Tim, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for including me in this very valuable and informative series you're having of interviews. So thank you.
Yeah, I'm kind of turning the tables on you, Sam, because normally you're always on the opposite side of this. So I get to pepper you with a lot of questions right now, and we'll get to know the real Sam Littman, right? Hey, Sam, do me a favor. For those that are listening in, there may be some out there that may not know who Sam is and who Lippman Connects is, and what you do out there for the industry, and what the valuable programs that you do for the industry. So why don't you give us a kind of a or give us a 1 minute overview of Lippman Connects?
Thank you. Lippman Connects is now in its 26th year, and it's my pleasure to produce one-day events for convention and exhibition professionals for networking and information exchange. I do ECEF, which is kind of my Super Bowl, coming up on May 28th. And then throughout the year, we do roundtables, attendee acquisition, exhibit sales, and the large show roundtable. And those are 30 people, deep dive, facilitated discussions on specific topics.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, for those listening in, for those that haven't attended any of those sessions, specifically ECF and the other roundtables, I would encourage those that are listening in to attend. They're absolutely top notch programs for the industry. So looking forward to ECEF. So anyway, hey Sam, you've seen some of the interviews that I've done, so you know the first part of it. It's I'm going to pepper you with a couple questions, get to know the real Sam Lippman. So all right, you ready, buddy?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Sam, what's the best sandwich?
Wow, you didn't give me that on the list. Um, I gotta go with my wife's delicious tuna salad sandwich, and sometimes hot with a little bit of cheese on top. But her tuna fish is delicious.
Okay, I like that. Sam, who are your mentors in the business? Or give me one or two or three.
Well, I've learned different things from different people. I've been amazed over and over and over again, Gary Shapiro's energy. The fact that he is as focused, passionate, emotional, committed to the trade show industry, committed to the consumer electronics, the technology industry for all of these years, that's phenomenal. A name from the past that I learned from afar um, was Don Vaughn. Uh,
Yep.
Don
Yep.
Vaughn, when I was just starting out, was always amazed me as how prepared he was. He was always over prepared. He was never caught by surprise, and was very efficient with his time and with other people's time. And
Yep.
probably my third is a great story that I heard about Jack Wayman, the founder of
Sure.
the Consumer Electronics Show.
Yep.
The story goes that it was a long time ago, and he was, it was a rainy day. It was in the winter time. He took a train it was a meeting that he was speaking at in Trenton. And this is when Jack Wayman was arguing for Betamax against the Supreme Court. So he was in the public eye quite a bit. When he finally got to the location for his talk, there was like 7 people in the audience, and the room was set for a couple of hundred. And the story goes that Jack gave as strong and as entertaining and as informative a talk as he would have in front of 1,000 people. And
Yeah.
that's something that I've always held on to. So there's
Yeah.
3 guys that I've
Yeah.
tried to learn their best traits from.
And I'm sure there are plenty more too, right? So, hey, Sam, Apples or oranges?
I would guess apples are easier to eat.
Okay. Favorite sitcom?
Oh, that's easy. Well, I mean, my favorite is Seinfeld. However, just recently we discovered, and we're going through it kind of like for dessert a little bit every night, Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, okay.
Very,
Okay.
very, very funny. Very, very well done.
Okay. All right. Favorite late night snack?
I'm not a late night snack guy. After dinner, certainly, you know, ice cream is always fun.
Okay. All right. Sam, do you have any superstitions?
I don't.
Okay.
Tim, do you?
Actually, I don't.
Yeah,
So
no, I don't.
no, I don't. So, all right. Last one. Best piece of advice anybody ever gave you?
A long time ago, there was a woman by the name of LaRue Fry who was like the go-to person with meetings and conventions. She was a speaker. I think she might have run ASAE's conventions and meetings department. And she once said something, always work on your schedule. Do not work on somebody else's schedule. And especially in our business, that's something that I've held on to. Probably she didn't give it to me directly. I was in the audience, but that really resonated with me. Work on your schedule. Don't be reactive and work on others.
I like that. I like that. Sound advice, right? Especially in our business. Hey, Sam, listen, I want last question. This is, I promise you, no gotcha questions, but
Oh
this
no,
may
now
be.
you're doing a Columbo. No, no, no. Just one more question.
You're an Atlantic City guy. Okay. There's a famous pageant there. I did my little bit of research before I got on the phone with you, which is called the Miss America pageant, right? What year was the first Miss America pageant?
Oh wow. I can tell you why it was created. It was created to Miss America contest was created to fill hotel rooms
Oh,
on
okay.
the week after Labor Day.
Okay. All right.
Um, so what year was it? Boy, oh boy, it was certainly like after World War One.
Yeah.
So the early
Close.
mid 20s.
1921.
Okay.
All right. You're close enough. Hey, listen. So I want to talk about the next couple of minutes about your career because you've had a very um, diverse, interesting career, right? From Atlantic City. And obviously that city has changed dramatically since you've departed there. But kind of take us through. And I know that I don't want to put words in your mouth, Sam, but I think was your first job with United Exposition. So how did you get to United?
Well, first of all, I don't even call it Exposition because very few people even remember that or have heard of it. So I call it
Yeah, you're right.
GES. I call it GES. So just so
Right.
today's generation, knows what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I didn't have any direction, and the founders of United Expo were based in Atlantic City, and I kind of pushed myself on them. They didn't have any in those days. There was no training program or
Right.
intern program. The people in Atlantic City didn't want me, so they said, you can go to Chicago, thinking I wouldn't say yes. And I said, sure. So I went to Chicago, and they didn't want me because they thought I was a spy from Atlantic City. But starting out at the very bottom as a freight desk clerk, doing shows in McCormick Place, doing shows in Cobo Hall, doing shows at what was it called? The Coliseum,
Yeah.
doing shows in the Coliseum. You really do get to know the guts, the bolts, the nuts and bolts of putting on a trade show.
Yeah.
So I have no regrets. I'm glad I started there. It wasn't easy. There was no one was certainly no one was mentoring me in
How
those days.
many years were you at United, Sam?
I was there for 3.5.
Three and a
Actually,
half.
a little piece of trivia. When I was with United in Chicago, I was working on and representing United at the very first Chicago Fest.
Oh, okay. All right.
And that was a Navy pier when it was a pit.
So did you migrate from United to the show management side, the organizer side of the business? And what was your first experience getting into the organizer side?
Well, I wrote letters to 5 or 6 of the largest trade shows in the United States at the time I was looking,
Sure.
and the National Computer Conference was looking for somebody
Oh,
who had some operational logistics background, and I got hired.
right. Okay. And you were with them for a couple of years, right?
I was with them for 5 years. I was with CES for 10 years, and I was with Graph Expo and Print for 5 years.
And then at that point, you kind of spun off and started your Lippman Connects at that point, right?
Yes. Yep. 26 years ago.
And so, obviously you were a very prominent person as an organizer in the business, right? Everybody knew Sam Lippman, and you spun off and created Lippman Connects. Little bit probably of a risky proposition, I assume. Or what was the catalyst behind your thinking to get out of the organizer side and get on the, I want to call it the educational side of the business, or if that's a fair assessment, but kind of take me through that.
Well, I was really, bottom line was I wasn't learning as much as I used to. I was just in a situation where I was repeating uh, a relatively important and successful series of events to create, large trade shows, and I just wanted to do something different. Um,
Yep.
so I went out on my own as a consultant originally, and for the first couple of years, I was involved with the first SEER census.
Yep.
I had some different consulting, jobs that I was doing, and then Mike Howell tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Do you want to work on a large show roundtable, like the very first one?" And I said, "Sure." And we worked well together. And he said to me, "Do you want to?" He said, "You know many of the association executives that run shows.
Yep.
I was a creator, one of the 7 men that seven they were men that created CISO. How about we
Okay.
come together and put together an event that has attracts the top executives from the independent world and the top executives from the association world?" And that's we said yes, and we created ECEF, the Exhibition and Convention Executives Forum.
And at that point, that was the only was that the only program that you had at that point? Because now you've got the roundtables and things like that. But was that the only program that you initially started out with?
We did the large show roundtable the first year, and then 6 months later, we did ECEF. So for the longest time, we had two events:
Gotcha.
large show roundtable and ECF. And then over the years, I created the attendee acquisition roundtable, and then created the exhibit sales roundtable.
So I want to talk about the roundtables first of all. Spend just a minute on that, but because I really want to focus on ECEF, which you've got coming up in the next several weeks. And I know you're celebrating your 26th year, and it is again, it's one of the it is no, I want to say it's one of the premier programs in the business. But talk to us briefly about the roundtables because they have become exceedingly successful over the course of the years, very well attended, and organizations flock to sending their people to these events. So talk about those really quickly.
Sure, thank you. The roundtables, we cap them at 30 people. So we have 25 organizers and 5 subject matter experts. So the sponsors that come to the attendee acquisition roundtable are all experts in attendee acquisition. No division between the sponsors and the everybody's there in a facilitation, and we learn stuff. Uh, you can't have 30 smart people in a room for a day and not pick up something.
Yeah.
So that's That's really the secret sauce, which is to get people together who are like-minded, and I I provide the facilitation. We put together a tailored agenda in advance, and we give people the opportunity to learn from each other.
Yeah, and I've been to those in the past, and they are great. And again, if anybody's listening in, I would encourage them to go either themselves or encourage staff to go because they are just top notch. And you really get a feel because you're in a room with sometimes your competitors
Mhm.
or organizations that are complementary to yours. So you can really learn a lot from happening out in the industry. So let's talk about ECEF because we got that coming up, and that is, to your point, that's the 800-pound gorilla in your portfolio. You've put together a fabulous program coming up in Washington. Tell us about that a little bit.
ECEF is an opportunity to listen to hopefully some voices outside our industry. I spend all year thinking about ECF. What topics, what speakers, how can we make it more valuable for the sponsors and the organizers, the executives that join us? To get into the room, you need to be a VP or above or a sponsor. So number one, there's a vetting process. So everyone you bump into is a valuable potential contact. Uh, this year, Freeman is my gold sponsor. We produce a very tightly run event. After COVID, we realized that it's crazy to have all these smart people together and just have them sit listening to session after session.
Right.
So we
Right.
reduced the number of sessions, we reduced the length of the sessions, and we've increased the amount of networking time, the breaks, the reception, the lunch, the breakfast, all of that. And the number one in our post-event survey, which most people respond to because it's very, very short, unsolicited, the number one response we had every single year is love the 1 day format.
Yep.
Keep the one
Yep.
day format.
Yep.
So we I enjoy ECF because it's the energy and the excitement and the camaraderie that happens there, plus the key learnings that happen from the stage.
Yep.
The really, really smart people that these are all volunteer folks. These
Yep.
speakers are all coming and they're incredibly busy, and yet they say, sure, I'll spend time and share from the stage some of the stuff that I think is important.
Yeah, and your speakers are all, I want to call them A players, right? They are C-suite or just a notch below that, but they are incredible speakers, knowledgeable, know the business up and down. So and you do a great job of facilitating them. I got to tell you, as far as the part of ECEF that I've always enjoyed, two segments is the tech demos,
Mhm.
and I've also enjoyed, believe it or not, your what is it? Your 5 minute key points. I
Yeah,
love
five.
that. I
Thank you.
love that.
I that's a fun thing. 5 points in 5 minutes. I take Freeman's most recent research. I poke around and I see what's interesting to me, what I think is important. And then in the beginning, in the morning, the very first session, we put a countdown clock, and
Yeah,
I have five. I race the clock. I have 5 minutes to share my 5 points. So it's a fun way to get things started. Thank you.
yeah. No. Well, anyway, I know everybody that's going looks forward to it. Look forward to seeing you. I know it's going to be a fabulous program. We have run out of time, but I always enjoy having conversations with Sam Lippman and seeing Sam Lippman. So I only wish you the best of luck, and hopefully here's to year number 27, and the rest of the roundtables that are coming up. And so again, Sam, thank you for making time for me. It was great.
Well, it's my pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, see ya.